and you look over here where you've got Walker up here, also, you know, all the guys we've been kind of following up to this place. Walker is up here on the right-hand side, but if you look at the map, though, it says 15th Alabama there and then also down here in two places. And some companies of the 15th Alabama actually join up with Walker. And Walker's been kind of staggering around. Walker's taken his two regiments. He's trying to cut in, finding out it's not the right place, goes back out. He's been following this road. And when he finally gets here, he gets to a spot where he thinks he can make a flank attack on artillery. Jim?
Yeah, it felt like we left the last position that came here was a long drive. In fact, that hill just across the way is the hill that the New Yorkers went down. All right. So there's artillery on this point. Union artillery, again, firing towards Artillery Ridge, firing towards the Confederate lines. There's one regiment, as I mentioned, was dropped off to active support for those artillery pieces. And as Pete said, Taylor's wandering around. Trimble, who started as a brigade commander, is now down to leading the 15th Alabama. He's not ready to give up. Any of us that pass the 68-year age mark have to be, you know, in shock on how energetic this gentleman was during that day. But he brings the 15th Alabama, and as Pete said, they actually split. He takes one half to kind of come on the flank. The other one are going to attack straight up the gut. So now he's down to battalion command. So he starts out as a brigade, leads the regiment here, splits it down, he takes one half. So Isaac was good at all levels, just asking. But this attack now is trying to flank this artillery pieces. We're now late in the day. It's not dark yet, but we're getting late in the afternoon. It's June, so it's going to stay light for a while. But they're going to try and flank this artillery battery. About that time, after what just happened to the 8th New York, they have fallen back behind this artillery position. There's one regiment here. Stahl kind of gets the word what has happened. He said, and now he's heard about Milroy and Schenck being pulled back. He decides it's time for him to pull back and get back in line with the rest of Army. So this attack occurs, scares the Federals pretty good. There's quite a bit of our infantry fighting with that one unit up here that was protecting the artillery, but the artillery gets away. And by the time they really get serious about storming this position, the infantry had left as well. So literally, as we stand here, that would have, you know, Taylor, Trimble would have come across these fields for this attack right here. Now there is a drop off, you can tell there's kind of dry gulch down there and up to the hill. We'll walk down there and kind of see what this hill would have been like and what they would have been attacking. You know, when you look at a map, look, oh, they attacked right here. No, they attacked like this or like this, depending on the terrain. So give us a chance to see that. Now, after this, you know, Union troops have fallen back. Confederate troops, by and large, are where they started, except for Trimble and his brigade. It's getting dark. What does Isaac want to do in the dark? He wants to make a night attack. And he goes to Ewell. And Ewell kind of says, yeah, it's up to Jackson. He is the Army commander. I'm just commanding his wing. Thinking that would appease Trimble. No, Trimble gets on his horse, rides to Port Republic, wakes Jackson up with his idea to make a night attack. Jackson didn't think too much of the idea. So unfortunately, Trimble, till his dying day, post-war and everything else, talked about if we had just made that night attack, how this victory would have been complete. We wouldn't have had to worry about Fremont behind us when we have the battle at Fort Republic. But this is the final phase of Cross Keys. This attack comes through here, right across these fields, down across, up the hill. But it's somewhat inconsequential. There again are some casualties on both sides, but it's not a pitched battle where you saw, you know, like New York or even around the artillery ridge. Everyone feels the fight, the day ending. The impetus of the Union attack, you could feel it. It was gone. Milroy pushed it hard. He's backing up. Schenck walked and then he decided to back up. Now you've got Stahl out here. He can see what's going on. He can't really see here, but as you can tell, it's wide open. He can hear what's happening. Things are moving away now, rather than this attack that was being conducted. So there's a disengagement here. They fall back, and that ends the battle across Keats.
There is something that's kind of interesting. With Stahl, the composition of his troops actually is kind of interesting. German troops, a lot of them, with a commander who speaks German, but he also had a few troops who had come from India, some of them from France. Some of them had come from some of the Germanic states and come here. They'd all come to New York, and great way to make some money, join up with the Union Army and go out and fight. They even had a contingency of Chinese troops that were here. Wow. Okay? So when you talk about multinational, you can imagine giving orders to some men to go do something, and they're all going, what did he say? And that's pretty much what's going on out here. But Stahl has definitely a multinational force out here, including actually a few Chinese sprinkled in amongst the mix. So, anyways, if you were oriented,
in retrospect, with everything you know now and everything you've studied, if they would have proceeded with that night attack, what do you think the outcome would have been?
These guys are going to
Union Church is over
Had
there.
there been a night
right
attack,
over there.
Right over there.
Yes.
and it's just Trimble and
That's
it's
Queenstown
maybe
Road
his
over there?
brigade,
Yes.
he'd have just scared them pretty bad. He did march up pretty close.
Union Church
He
is right
was
over there.
denied the attack, but he did march up and they
Yeah, about a
encamped.
mile and a
They
quarter
could
in
see
that direction.
the campfires
That's
of the
how
Union
big a
troops.
gap. You
That
could,
was ours,
So,
over there.
the rest of the Confederate, like I say, where they were, he was there most of the
you
night, and
mean
they
at the
finally
church,
pulled
yes,
back
right.
later.
yes,
Had they
that's when the
attacked-
first contact would have been made.
Maybe in the night, and the confusion and everything else, Fremont would have panicked and they'd have retreated to Harrisonburg immediately. But beyond that, I don't think a lot would have occurred. What does happen is, obviously, is when we get to this afternoon at Fort Republic, Jackson still had the threat of Fremont's intact army sitting here, just a couple, 4 miles from Fort Republic when he's across the river trying to deal with that attack. So that worry would have been gone, maybe, but it was also Fremont. Fremont wasn't going to be aggressive and attack and come across the river anyway.
The map has Bolin and Stahl over here. Was Stahl over Bolin?
No, Bolin was part of he had a brigade as well, but didn't really get much involved. He was kind of reserved. So again, Fremont didn't even use the entire force he had.
There's a really good map down here and here, and I would encourage you, if you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll meet at 1:30 at the same place where we started. If you do get hungry, there's only one place around to eat.
Where is that?
If you go back down this road, you didn't come this way. If you continue down here and make a right-hand turn down at the bottom of the hill, go right up there.
Yeah, we got 2 down last year. We brought everybody to lunch, and they're like, "We're gonna have more help than you're gonna have." I know people twice.
I have twice so far.
Okay.
A tour for the whole Valley campaign.
Pete has done that before.
2 other stops.
Okay.
Down all the way
Did you
down to
include
Ewell, which is a town. I do optimally it would be 3 days. But if you do them, the battles out of order, you can do it in 2 days. But there are places like taking them out on the Peters Harrisonburg Pike and things like that, that would be an experience and a half for them. Yes.
Do you arrange accommodations or just kind of meet up?
Usually people that come with us, they'll email me or Jim or whatever, and they'll say, where's the best place to, to stay? If you're doing the Valley campaign, I say probably Woodstock is the best, because I start from there. I think Jim does too, in all the tours that we do. But
Do y'all have business cards?
In a car.
I have Pete's. I have yours.
yeah, I was going to say, I do have a,
Thank you.
yes.
Well, if I do.
So I am curious though,
Yeah.
because I try to do that too, just for myself. How do you manage to squeeze that all in plus McDowell? I always have the problem with McDowell. That's my problem. Is
3 days you can do it.
do it okay? So
Yeah,
but if
2
you take
days.
it out, 2 days, everything but McDowell.
You can do McDowell in 2 days, but you have to do
Thank you, Jim.
McDowell in here the second day,
Yeah.
and everything else up there the first day.
Makes
You can
sense.
see
So,
through this
and it's
gap down
really-
here again. It's
Pushing-
similar to
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really-
because I've tried it, and I always run out of, just like historically,